So welcome everyone. My name's Rashid. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the founder and head business coach at Jigsaw Thinking. For those of you who are Jigsaw HQ members, you know the drill and you know what to expect, but I'll just take a quick minute to explain to those who are not Jigsaw HQ members of what the hell we're doing over here, okay? So very quickly, Jigsaw HQ is a community we've created for creative entrepreneurs to help creative entrepreneurs to build businesses that can satisfy you creatively and financially as well. And as part of that, what we basically do is we have experts come in and guide you on the business aspects of your journey. And the second part is you're part of a community who really go above and beyond to support each other, challenge each other so that you don't feel lonely in your journey as well. So the two things we're trying to get rid of when members are part of Jigsaw HQ is loneliness and uncertainty. So we're trying to make you feel supported and confident as a business owner. And as part of Jigsaw HQ as a membership, we run this weekly Thinkerspace. So every week we run a session on a particular topic where either me or another business expert within our community comes in and shares insights on how it can help with your business. About once a month, we open up this Thinkerspace to non-members as well, so that you have a chance to get a feel for Jigsaw and of course get value from the session itself. So let's dive into today's topic, which is how to deal with tough clients. So first up, always like starting with why we're spending time on this so that we're clear about whether this is worth spending, 45 minutes, 50 minutes thinking about, and of course, following it up with action. The first reason, if I have tough clients, I'm going to have to spend more time working with them, more time communicating with them, more time dealing with them equals no life that I'm going to have. And so we need to have a method to deal with these tough clients. So when we have tough clients at the start of the equation, it doesn't equal to more time working and no life, right? That has to change in our mind because change starts up here. The second reason why it's important is because I have seen this over and over and over and over and over again, is that when you are dealing with tough clients, what happens over a period of time is you start to lose your passion to work with those clients. And what ends up happening is because of that lack of passion, your delivery is subpar. Right. And so we obviously have to deal with this because one of the worst things that can happen for you in your business is where you start being known for subpar delivery, right? Because that's obviously not a place we want to be in. The third is there's this beautiful false choice that comes up in our mind when we're dealing with tough clients. Okay. And I call it a false choice narrative because it is not a real thing. But we have told ourselves so many times these are our only two options that we end up thinking of this as a fact. Hey, I work with clients. Clients can really be tough. I have to deal with it, suck it up, and do what it takes to keep moving on. And so you treat this particular client, and I'm sure all of you are visualizing those one or two clients who fall into this category. And we basically play very defensively from a place of fear, saying, if I lose them, nothing could be worse. So I obviously have to deal with it. And the fourth reason, I felt like it was important to, close the why with a bit of a positive feeling. Tough clients can really force you to improve your products, your services, your experiences, etc. And so if we know how to deal with the tough clients that we have, then we're able to retain them for longer, and we're able to use them as a learning opportunity to perhaps give a better service, a better product to the remaining clients that we have. Now, that's why dealing with tough clients is important. So let's get into how we're going to learn how to deal with them today. First, I am going to take you through 7 principles that you can apply to dealing with these tough clients. The second thing we're going to do is with each principle, I am actually going to give you a little question, mini activity, and action to get started so that you start thinking about how to use this principle in your personal situation. Because when a snowball is at the top of a hill, it only starts gathering pace and stuff once you make that initial push. So we're going to try and have that initial push today. And the third, and this is something I'm going to challenge you to do, is we're going to unlearn as much as we learn today. Principle number 1, we're going to learn from the man himself, Tony Stark. He went from people are working for him to, hey, I am partnering with these amazing people who can accomplish great things together that I couldn't accomplish by myself. Now, imagine Tony Stark is the client and you are all the other Avengers. What basically needs in your mind, okay, first, before anything else, is you do not work for your clients. That is not what you do. You partner with your clients to accomplish goals they want to accomplish. Okay, and that's a very, very important shift that you need to make in your mind. If you are working for someone, then very clearly they are up here and you are down here and you are doing your best to support them. This is where things like the client is always right, do what it takes, there are no boundaries, those type of thoughts come into our mind, and we start asking ourselves and start telling ourselves we have to do whatever it takes because they're up here, we're down here, we have to work for them. So the first principle with dealing with tough clients is, unfortunately, a lot of the responsibility for why they are tough clients or continue to be is on you, because we keep telling them that we are working for them or take actions that keep showing them that we are working for them because we want to tell everyone that we are the best when it comes to working with our clients. Think about why the client came to you in the first place. They have a future they want to build, and they have chosen you as the quickest, smartest, most strategic way to get towards that future. Your role is to partner with your client to help them achieve that goal. So you are an equal partner because they need you just as much as you need them. So the first thing and the first principle I want you to take in and soak in is that you do not work for your clients. You partner with your clients to build a better future. Once that is clear over here, a lot of the things that you do will be very, very different. So first principle, and perhaps the most important, without which none of the other things are going to work, is we have to have in our mind that we partner with our clients. We don't work for them. I want you to, with these actions, please, if they're in the form of questions, please make sure you share your answers in the Zoom chat and think through it, because it will get you clearer. What is just one simple but really clear way in which you are going to show up as an equal partner that you are not doing right now, or you are not doing consistently right now? And now I want you to think about what is one simple change you could make to that situation that will make sure you show up to them as an equal partner, not somebody who is subservient to them. Because if you forget this principle when there's stress, when there's now, unfortunately, when tough clients are being tough, we feel stressed. And when we are stressed, it's very rare we're going to be able to have the self-awareness to go, wait a minute, I am stressed now. I'm working for this person. Let me zoom out. Let me, that's really hard. So think about at least one way in which you're going to remember this when times get tough. Okay, which helps them and helps us. Remember, none of these principles are about us one-upping the toughness of the client. It's about helping them, helping us, and making sure everyone can move forward. Okay, let's go to principle 2 and let us learn from Captain America, okay, who tends to be the leader of the group. Any good leader is always going to make sure that they set expectations right at the start. A huge reason why your clients are tough or continue to be tough is not because they are terrible human beings. It is because we have not set clear expectations. And if that's the case, you have to set expectations both ways. You have to set expectations on yourself based on what their requirements are and what they need to achieve. And you have to set expectations on them of what it is to be a good client. Because being a good client will help you help them better. And again, remember mindset 1. If you're working for, you're going to let them lead you. If you're partnering with, you have an opportunity to lead just as much as they do. You have to set expectations. If you have tough clients right now who you have not set expectations with, reset expectations. It's never too late to make this happen. So here's the action to get started on the setting expectations piece. Pick one non-negotiable expectation you will communicate to your clients. Please notice, I have not said think about one non-negotiable expectation, right? So you don't have to get it perfectly right, but you have to make sure it happens. Speed is perhaps more important than getting this right. Principle three is inspired by clients who turn into Hulk slowly but surely, and suddenly it becomes really fast, which is people who go from Yeah, good client, good client, good client. And suddenly something happens within a day, a week, a month, and everything changes. And we don't know why it's happened. Okay. And typically there is only one reason why it hasn't happened, apart from your work is crap. And I'm just going to believe that everyone over here does great work. Okay. So we're not going to go with that as the reason. There's only one other possible reason it could be. Any guesses? Communication. If you don't communicate with your clients and they don't know what's happening and you know what's happening, but they have no idea, and all they see is, wait, something is late or something's happened 2 weeks in a row or my products haven't been delivered on time, then of course they're going to get mad. How can they not? One of the biggest reasons why they randomly flip a switch or get mad or start becoming really tough is because you are not communicating with them. Your job is to make sure you over communicate with them, because no project has ever failed or client relationship has ever failed because you've communicated too much. Communication is the number one way to make sure your tough clients aren't as tough. Really simple. Just communicate with them. Tell them what's happening, tell them why it's happening, tell them how you're going to solve it. Make sure they know that you are in control of what's happening. You're very rarely going to get this ideal client who never wants to talk to you about anything and is just like, yes, go for it. A year later, I'll get my result. What is a simple communication you're going to add to your current client experience? Principle number 4 is inspired by Thor. I'm going to be honest here. Thor is very strong. Principle number 4 is to be fair but firm and be okay to say no to things. The action that I want you to think about is, what is a client request or demand that keeps coming to you that you will say no to? Okay. You don't, and I don't want you to think about your big justification for, okay, now I have to figure out how to say no. Why will I say no? What's my justification for saying no? Your justification, if it's more than one line, you are thinking way too much about it. Unfortunately, I cannot do. Here's an alternative that might help. And if it's possible, provide an alternative solution that will help them partly to get towards what they're requesting for. It's not because they're terrible people, it's because they're people. If you were the client and you were getting an inch, you would ask for more and it would keep going forward. You can say no graciously, but you still have to say no. I assure you, it is tough to do this in the short run. It is insane long-term benefits for you, your team, etc. And I have a very extreme opinion on this. My extreme opinion is it's not client first, it is team first. Let's move to principle 5. Principle 5 is inspired by Black Widow, who is an expert negotiator. Principle 5 is carrots and consequences go together. There are certain client behaviors and actions you want to reinforce and make sure they keep repeating, and certain client behaviors and actions you want to eliminate or reduce. This is a simple 2-step process. Number 1, figure out which specific behavior you want to reinforce and eliminate. And for each of those, think about one way in which you're going to give a carrot to reinforce a particular behavior and a consequence to eliminate a certain type of behavior. But the thing that we forget in all of this is that good behavior needs to be reinforced. So if they're doing good things, okay, and if your clients are actually doing good things that you want to reinforce, you have to give them a carrot to continue that behavior. You can't just be like, yes, and just leave it. Principle 6 is inspired by, weirdly, my favorite superhero. And I know this doesn't fit for many people, but Hawkeye is my favorite because he gets to the point. And so principle 6, and this perhaps is in line with the question of how do you reset expectations with clients you already have, okay? Get to the point with them. Don't circle the point and think about, oh, what are my expectations? What do I need to change with the client? This is not working, etc. To break that cycle, as soon as you see something, say something. So if you see that things are not working out, something's going wrong, and expectations not being met, or communications not working, get to the point straight away and have a conversation with your client. So the other way of calling out this principle is something called bluff. Bluff is basically bottom line up front. Bottom line is, We're doing great work together, but unfortunately, the work could be even better with a couple of tweaks. Here are the tweaks we need to make over the next week. I want you to draft out right now a message. You don't have to send it right now if you don't want to. So think about that one client with whom you need to reset expectations and draft out a really simple 2-line message to them. And once that's out there, you can't do anything about stopping it. And that's probably a good thing, because we're not playing from fear of we're going to lose them. Principle number 7 is inspired by Miss Marvel, which is basically you do have a nuclear option. It is not just clients who can fire you. Okay? You are allowed to fire clients as well. You, of course, have to think about very clearly about they are a client who need to be fired, what the reasons for that are, what the impact of that is on the business, how that's going to help you as a business overall. Weigh it up and decide whether you want to go nuclear and fire your client. But you are allowed to fire clients. And there are very smart ways to actually do this without being a terrible human being saying, I never want to work with you again. If a client crosses this red line, then unfortunately, I have to cut ties with them. And I have a very clear principle of what that is. One of my red lines is if a client disrespects a team member of mine, I have to cut ties with the client. What is the red line for you? After which it is not worth working with a particular client. But be clear of what you mean by not honoring your time. Like, try and make it a bit more objective. So that could be the entire, like the principle or the umbrella. Under it, be very, very clear and objective about, okay, not honoring my time means turning up late to 2 meetings in a row, right? Whatever it is that defines not honoring your time, be very clear about what that is. But what I would advise very strongly is making sure that when you fire a client, you have a conversation about why it's happened, because that will help you be clear with them, help you complete it on your end so that you're not emotionally thinking about it throughout. And you would have potentially helped a client become a better client for the next person that they work with. And that's a good thing. We obviously don't want to use principle 7 often, but we want to have it. We want to know that it's an option for us. So let's just quickly summarize the 7 principles. Okay. Firstly, here's a cool Avengers picture so that you'll feel cool. Okay. And feel like superheroes because you'll are. And you'll have to act that way. First, you are not working for your clients. You are partnering with your clients. 2 completely different worlds. Okay. So that's up here. Mindset. Second, set expectations both ways. If you don't set expectations, you cannot hold your clients accountable to those expectations because there are no expectations to hold them accountable to. Okay. And they don't know how to be a good client. You have to tell them how. Third, over communicate. Under communication is the enemy. Over communication is your friend. Fourth, be fair but firm, which means saying no is okay. You don't have to say yes to everything. Number 5, reinforce behavior with carrots, eliminate behavior with consequences. Be very, very clear and rigorous in applying these. Don't let things slip and let them slide, and because they'll turn into big issues later. Number 6, get to the point when you need to have a conversation with them. And finally, you have your nuclear option available. Hopefully, we don't have to use it over a period of time, but remember, you have that option if you have to. My headline, if you don't remember any of this stuff, just remember that tough clients will remain tough clients if you don't turn them into wonderful clients. So think about that physics principle, right? A body at rest will remain at rest unless an external force is applied to the body. You are that external force. They will continue to be tough unless you, as an external force, create an environment and have principles in place that you adhere to that will turn them from being tough clients to terrific clients. Make sure you turn at least one of these principles into action this week. Not, yes, someday, one day, I'm going to build this perfect thing and amazing things are going to happen, because again, speed is more important. Okay, that's it for everyone who's an HQ member. Thank you so much, members, for jumping on. I will see you on the platform.